Hello, and welcome to the Way of the Footprint podcast. We are just going to share with you Commandment One, and then Maggie and I are going to share our thoughts on it and what it means to us. The Commandment One is to know that all of your energetic system, your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perception flow into your foot. They go through your foot and into the earth and imprint and impacts the whole. So the first commandment asks you to reflect upon your thoughts, your feelings, actions, and your perceptions, to walk more in purity with yourself, with others, with your purpose, with the planet, and with the universe. It asks you to take some sacred time to become more self-aware of the priorities in your life and in your leadership, to know what is important: kindness, compassion, purity of heart, mind, body, and soul. This commandment invites you to take some reflection, to introspect, to go in to yourself and to release yourself from any judgment or criticism. But most of all, when you allow your footprint to be more purer, so much more clarity has space to come to you. For the power of the intelligence in the foot is clear, cleansed, and whole, and will hold a new consciousness that frees the body and the mind and the spirit to be more intelligent, more careful of mind, and a higher consciousness is then born into you. A higher intelligence, a way of knowing and thinking and doing can seep through your skin, your senses. You are akin to the spirit once more, caring for the earth and for the next generations, caring for the self in a more gentle and graceful way, understanding another, free from the judgment. When you walk the footprint way, aligned with Commandment One, you will know what is a priority and an importance, for your imprint is what goes out into the world. And that makes the difference, or it continues to damage. So take some time to just reflect upon these words that this commandment shares. And in your reflection time, you will receive an understanding of what you can no longer put out. Okay, so that's the Commandment One, and the words that were, as Maggie mentioned, Julie, our colleague, is a channel. So she channels these words from the grandmother of the sacred footprint. And me, Maggie, and Julie are all ambassadors of these teachings, and we have to integrate them into our life and leadership. And that's what me and Maggie are just going to discuss. So, we receive this wisdom, and then in order to be able to share them and help integrate it, we're just going to have a conversation with each other and just share our thoughts and our reflections on that commandment. So, yeah, I'm going to invite Maggie, because you've just been listening to me speak for the last few minutes. So, yeah, I'll invite Maggie for her thoughts and any reflections she'd like to share.
I could listen to those words all day. They're so beautiful, but yet so simple. For me, relating to it on a day-to-day basis, I think it's more of how we treat ourselves with respect and honor, and how we treat those around us, including our environment, where we look at ourselves from an emotional perspective, physical perspective, our environment that we live in, but our relationship with ourselves. And part of that is no judgment for me is massive, and not to judge others. And if you disagree, it's okay to disagree. You just respectfully disagree, rather it turn into an argument or an insult, or it evokes anger. I think the way that we behave is a lot to do with the footprint, but so transformational for ourselves in the way that we think and feel, and for those around us, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I think what you shared there, Maggie, about, it's about coming into self-awareness, isn't it? Because quite often we go through life Well, I certainly did. Like, I'm mindful of aspects of myself, like my physical self, for example, how I'm looking after myself, my nutrition, my exercise. But in terms of ever really paying attention to my emotional well-being, or certainly the thoughts that I have, and having an awareness that the thoughts that I have create an emotion, and that's what I put out into the world. One of the things that really resonated, which came through channel, was that what you perceive is what you weave into reality. And this commandment really brought home to me the fact that being aware of what we think and what we feel, mind, body, and spirit, is so important, because I hadn't ever really given that any consideration. This talks about being pure of mind, body, and spirit, and that what you think and feel creates an energetic frequency within your body, which you actually then impart into the earth. And I think one of the things that came through with this channel was that you wouldn't go out into the earth and leave your litter, um, and fly tip and just destroy, have no regard for the planet. And yet you can still contaminate Mother Earth with your energetic imprint, which we all have because we're all energetic beings. So that really has been my key learning from this, like really trying to think about or feel how I'm feeling and make a conscious effort to be much more purer of thought. And the criticism and the judgment. Yeah, sorry, Maggie.
No, I was going to coming back to that emotion is actually identifying what it is. Is this sadness? Is this hurt? Is this anger? Am I really pissed off right now? Like, is that because I went through ages with counselling and the counselor, how do you feel? I was like, I really don't know. I was so emotionally and physically switched off. I was just numb, is probably the best way.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually label that emotion and to then actually release it, Esther, like you say, because it pollutes the mind, it pollutes your body, it can manifest into physical pain. So I really am a true believer in, from my own experiences, to actually really identify what am I feeling, for sure.
Maggie, I mean, we definitely resonate there with well, I think probably so many of us do. We all carry our pain from different life experiences. And like you say, we're taught, aren't we? We live in a world that separates us from our emotions, or you're taught, it's not really, you don't want to air your dirty laundry in public, or don't talk about that. Certainly for me, so my pain was in the workplace in a leadership position. And that's, it was a no-no. You don't talk about your emotions. It's a weakness. It's perceived as a weakness. And so we learn to numb. We all have our own ways of dealing with pain. And because we live in a world where we're separated from spirituality, we don't often go inwards. We seek externally for that fix. We don't learn to really pay attention to our emotions. What we learn to do is stick a sticking plaster over them, whether that's with medication, or you might not be, it may just be, for me, I used to drink too much, not to the level where it was an addiction, but certainly binge drinking. Most nights actually in the week, me and my colleagues would work really hard, and then to address the stress, the feeling of dis-ease that we were all in, we would drink heavily, every night. That's what we did. It's a numbing on this journey, is that we have to heal. In order to heal, we have to feel, to truly understand and discover. And that's a journey in itself. It takes courage to really go into your emotions and feelings. And I think one of the key points in this that talks about, letting go of the judgment and the criticism. So one of my patternings My ancestral line, the female line, there's a lot of self-criticism and self-judgment. I think that's probably typical of quite a lot of women, because, you know, we have to sort of compete, particularly in the workplace, in positions of leadership. We learn to compete, because not all women have been placed. And so that can then create criticism and judgment. Whereas when you're on this journey of becoming more mindful of our thoughts and feelings and emotions so that we can heal ourselves, change our energy, heal the earth, heal the next generations, which this commandment refers to, we learn to do that with self-compassion and self-love. Yeah,
Self-acceptance, I think, is massive. So it's that awareness,
yeah,
actually just accepting this is where I'm at, whether that's good, whether that's bad, whether that's mediocre or different parts in your life, but how empowering that acceptance is, because having that awareness and then that acceptance, I think instantly then it brings you on to, you know, you want a different outcome, which will affect your action. I think that's so powerful and very liberating, and knowing that whatever situation you're in and whatever's causing it and whatever aspect of your life is just to actually sit back. And the power of reflection, I think, is phenomenal. That's definitely something that I've been able to do, is piece the jigsaw together. I think I'm still always going to be piecing the jigsaw together,
yeah.
but you know,
It's an
why
infinite
we do
journey.
what we do. Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
we are
You know,
infinite beings, aren't we? And we forget that, you know, we're separated from that. We are infinite, and there's always that next level, more healing to be done and more discovery. And if we can embrace that, like you just shared, Maggie, it's like the whole journey is about the self, isn't it? And it's that with self-acceptance, the self-awareness, the self-action, it's a self-responsibility, which is the beauty of these commandments. So they're not, you know, like you shared, the word commandment, I guess, you know, can be a little bit intimidating. They're more of a, as you shared in the introduction, a commitment to be the best version of yourself and to live and lead with this wisdom, because it's there to aid and support you. And yeah, it's, for me, they really help me. Well, they do. They help me to become a better version of myself through working with them and integrating them through this self-awareness.
that's beautiful. But one thing I've realized being on my own spiritual journey and my healing journey, and just taking back that power, my power, and owning that power. For me, Esther, like you say, that it's coming back to there's no destination. It's the
Yeah,
journey. I think, and we're so groomed to a destination, to a status, to a home, to a car, to an education. It's almost like this is my journey. Like I'm not stopping here. I'm just going to evolve, evolve, evolve to how I feel, and I'm going, what's guiding me is not society, it's not someone else's success been put on me. It's actually my journey on how I feel rather than this big destination, because I've worked so hard to get to so many destinations and I've got here and I think, is this it?
it's there.
Is this
Mm-hmm.
it? So yeah, and not only that, that's not success. This is not what I wanted. So yeah, for me, it's just what's my journey is actually how I feel and that inner connection with myself and those actually around me. And that's the crux of that is just love and honor, and the light for sure. I think it's beautiful. I think my children look at me sometimes and it's almost like my nephew said to me last week, do you not mean respect, Auntie Maggie? Because I was telling them off. And I was like, no, no, no. Honor is another level of respect. I said it
It
just
is.
up a couple of levels. And he said to me, okay, I get that now.
Yeah.
And the appreciation is on another level for sure.
Oh, that's beautiful. Do you know what, Maggie? I think that's a perfect place to end it on that, because you've talked about, you know, these commandments really bring in the love, bring in the light, and help you to walk more with love, a footprint of love. And that's, you know, the frequency that we're all here to impart. And we can change the energetic frequency that we impart into the earth from fear, because let's face it, even if you're not particularly a person who's going through a lot of fearful times, your life could be working out just perfect and you're perfectly happy, you still live in a world that's saturated in fear. And every single one of us can play a part in putting out a different frequency, one of love. And it is like you just shared, through all of that self-awareness comes, in self-acceptance, self-action, taking a responsibility. Just to recap on those words, the first commandment asks you to reflect upon your thoughts, feelings, actions, perceptions, to walk more in purity with yourself, with others, with your purpose, with the planet and the universe. And they are the 5 relationships that enable everyone to excel and to put more love and light out there into the planet and to each other. So thank you, Maggie, for your time. And yeah, we'll be on again to talk about Commandment 2. Do you have
We
anything
will
else you
be.
want to add, Maggie? Over to
Can
you.
you Thank you. Can you, if you'd like to connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we also have the Way of the Footprint Facebook group. So we look into share the 13 commandments with you and just a new way of being. We would love your support with this, but also your feedback on if you'd like more or less of something, and actually what you think and feel about the first commandment too.